Dr. R.K. Shanmukham Chetty, the first financial minister of independent India, budget 1947-48. Sir R.K. Shanmukham Chetty, 1892 to 1953, was an economist. Chetty graduated from the prestigious Madras Christian College. He became the first finance minister of India after it became independent in 1947. Belonged to Tamil Vanya Chetty family, who were traditional businessmen in Tamil Nadu that owned mills in Coimbatore. He believed in constitutional means rather than confrontational means to secure self-rule and independence. He was a chief whip of the Swarajya party for some time. He was also the member of the Justice Party for a brief while. He represented India at the 1929 ILO conference. From 1923 to 1931, he was a member of the Central Legislative Assembly. He held the position of its deputy president and president during 1931-33 and 33-34 respectively. He was also the Indian delegate to the Assembly of the League of Nations in Geneva in 1938 and the World Monetary Conference at Bretton Woods in 1944. He was a constitutional advisor to the Chamber of Princes in 1945. He was a member of the Constitutional Assembly of India. Regarding India's independence, he is reported to have said, "We have secured freedom from foreign yoke, mainly through the operation of world events and partly through a unique act of enlightened self-abnegation on behalf of the erstwhile rulers of the country." Thus, though he did not hail from the mainstream movement for independence, he was made the first finance minister of independent India and he presented its first budget. He resigned shortly. It is believed that he was asked to resign by Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister of India, due to a minor dereliction of duty by a subordinate official so as to ensure probity. John Mathai, India's first railway minister, a former director of Tata Sons, and the person who replaced Chetty as finance minister, once said about Chetty that he is more sinned against sinning. In 1952, Chetty became a member of the Madras Legislative Council. Sir R.K. Shanmukham Chetty was the Diwan of Cochin State from 1931 to 1945. His period of office was marked by all-round administrative progress. The Cochin Secretariat was organized on modern lines under his supervision. High Court was opened in 1938 and Harbour Development Scheme was successfully completed. Sir R.K. Shanmukham Chetty hailed from Coimbatore and was the founder president of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Coimbatore. India has had 25 finance ministers since independence in 1947 who have presented and passed in Parliament 83 budgets, both interim and annual so far. The budget was first introduced in India on April 7, 1860, when Scottish economist and politician James Wilson from East India Company presented it to the British Crown. The first Union Budget of Independent India was presented by R.K. Shanmukham Chetty on 26 November 1947, 3 months after India broke itself out of the British Empire's shackles. The budget in 1947 covered a period of 7.5 months from August 15, 1947 to March 31, 1948. The partition of India led to the emergence of two independent governments in Delhi and Islamabad. The budget for India passed by the legislature of the previous March for the financial year 1947-48 is ceased to be operative. Finance Minister R.K. Shanmukham Chetty's first words at the budget presentation were, "I rise to present the first budget of a free and independent India. This occasion may well be considered an historic one and I count it a rare privilege that it has fallen to me, the finance minister, to present this budget." The main highlight of the budget. The main highlight of the first budget was a decision to pass the budget. Partition and the consequent destabilization were the core factors that determined the budget provisions. The three major expenses in the budget were on food grain production, defense services, and civil expenditure. Food production was low and therefore self-sufficiency in food grains was accorded highest priority. The country's first budget of independent India had a targeted budget revenue of Rs 171 crore. Of this, Rs 15.9 crore was expected from the Post and Telegraph Department. Fiscal deficit was Rs 24.59 crore. The total expenditure was estimated at Rs 197 crore approximately, of which defense was allocated Rs 92.71 crore, that is 46% of the budget. The increase in the expenditure was on account of expenses allocated for stabilization, refugee relief, and rehabilitation. The customs receipts were placed at an amount of 50.5 crores rupees. For the capital outlay, total expenditure of Rs 56.59 crore was provided, out of which Rs 20.3 crore were kept for grants to provinces. Out of the remaining balance of Rs 36.2 crore. From the capital outlay, a sum of 26.96 crore were provided for expenditure on revenue earning departments or schemes.